Hello, fellow vapors, Vaping Newbie here. And this is going to be a wee bit longer than most, maybe about 2 minutes longer than most, because I'm looking at five, count them, five juices from up here in Canada. Stick around. These juices came to me courtesy of a flavor master who lately has been expanding his line and getting some really interesting flavors. So we're back at SZVapor, and the link will be down below. Lately, Robert has been experimenting with a lot of flavors, and he was sent me out some of the sample, and I wanted to pass along my findings to you. We're going to be looking at 5 juices today. It's a bit longer a video, but I like spending time with you, so it's not bad. I want to give it its due because I think that SZVapor is well worth it. All these juices are going to be, well, sorry, I shouldn't say all but one are going to be vaped in a K-Fun or Russian 91 clone at 0.95 ohms and at 19 watts. The first juice is going to be in an aero tank at 2 ohms, vaping on my SVD at 12.5 watts, and I'll explain that in a minute. They have a variant of PG-VG ratio, so we'll handle that per juice, and all juices are in 6 milligrams of nicotine. Before I start, folks, as always, flavor is subjective, and what you like I might not, what I like you might not, so we got to take that into account. And that might be the first juice we're talking about. I should point out that Robert at SZVapor pre-steeps his juices 2 weeks before putting them up and putting them out. So basically, you can vape them when you get them. And case in point is number 1. It's called Faro. And this is obviously a chocolate vape. Look how deep chocolate that is. And that's what I put in my aero tank. And look at the color of that. That's just amazing. And the reason why I did that, folks, is because I'm not a chocoholic. Oh, no, don't throw rocks. Therefore, it's a lot easier to clean out my aero tank than it would be to clean out one of my K-Funs. So, Robert, no disrespect is intended. My K-Fun, my aero tanks run right behind my K-Funs as far as my favorite tanks are concerned. This particular juice is a 32% PG, 68% VG juice. Here we go. You saw the vape that came out of that, the vapor that came out of that. You can tell that it's very high VG, but not for lack of flavor. When I opened the bottle, I got chocolate right away. It really just, bam, shot out at you, chocolate. There is a very underlying nut to it, but prominently chocolate, and prominently a dark chocolate. I believe the website says truffle. Makes sense to me because that's the taste that lingers. So very nice indeed for a chocolate vape. Again, not my flavor palette, but that doesn't stop the issue from being a good juice. It was done the way it was meant to be. Very heavy in chocolate, and that dark chocolate remains. Excuse me. The second juice was a bit cause for concern for me as well. It's RY4, and this is touted as a tobacco, a pipe tobacco vapor. And I was talking to my good friend Kelly on Facebook, and I said, you know, this is going to be tough because the first one is chocolate, and I don't like chocolate. The second one is RY4, which is tobacco, and I don't really like tobacco vapors. And she said, don't worry about it, Gord. You're going to enjoy the RY4. It's not what you think. And so with that in mind, now the RY4 is 30% PG and 70% VG, so that's why you're getting a lot of vapor and very little throat hit. It is not heavily tobacco. There is an underlying tobacco there. You smell it as pipe tobacco, but I'm getting more vanilla than anything. Perhaps a hint, a very, very subtle hint of caramel in the background, but it is very enjoyable. And I'll tell you what, folks, I was going to PIF this, but I'm not. Don't tell anybody, because I am enjoying it. So that is RY4. The third juice up is called Perillian. And Perillian is 32% PG, 68% VG. And I love how Robert is that exact. He doesn't round off. He tells you exactly how he's making it. Where I was concerned about this, oops, wrong tank. Where I was concerned about this particular juice was because it was a custard. And I thought, oh, here we go again, custard. I've been seeing so much of it about. And then I was talking to him on Facebook, and he piqued my interest. Why? I'll tell you in a second. Again, very, very nice. A custard with a watermelon background. Now, folks, I love watermelon. When he told me that, I said to him on Facebook, oh, I have to try that. So thank you, Robert. It is creamy. It is smoothie, again, being 68% VG, not a massive throat hit, but it doesn't sacrifice the flavor. The watermelon is so prominent, and the cream is sort of underlying. That's like number one of the juices tonight on my all-day vape. So I'll say number two because I got a surprise at the end for it. That sort of took me by surprise. The fourth juice we're looking at is Triple P, and that is for peach, pear, and plum. Now, Triple P is 30% PG, 70% VG. I definitely get the plum on the inhale. I get a wee bit of peach and a wee bit of pear as the underlying tone, and perhaps the after effect with staying on my tongue. I'm getting that. This is really, really smooth. I don't know if he's added cream onto there, so bear with me just a moment. I just want to check that because it does indeed seem very creamy as well. He's talking about a cinnamon and a honey bath, or cinnamon honey glaze. So maybe that's what I'm tasting, but very much plum, and enjoying it amazingly well. Not overly spicy. If there's cinnamon in it, it's not jumping in your throat, which is a good thing. Not a tank cracker. Don't worry about it. Very tasty indeed. So that's Triple P. And the last juice we're looking at is called Flan Plan. And I'll tell you, folks, surprisingly to me, this became one of my favorites. Now, lately I've been vaping, and I should point out that this is a 32% PG, 68% VG. Lately I've been vaping a lot of pineapple, and this is a melange, a mixture based on a flan cake. I don't get a lot of, and I've been vaping it for about 2 hours now. I don't get a lot of crust or pastry. I get a lot of kick of tropical fruit, and the pineapple is the prominent, but it's not pineapple that you think is going to be really in your face. It is a subtle and smooth pineapple. Very enjoyable. The aroma of it is amazing. My daughter walked into the room when I was vaping it, and she goes, "Oh, that smells great." It does. It really does. It has a nice aroma to it. It has a massively nice taste. A great juice. Again, Robert, keep on trucking, buddy, because you're hitting these things out of the park. Really good juices. So on a quick recap, we started with Pharaoh, which was a chocolate vape, and unfortunately not a chocoholic, so I apologize. But again, that's a flavor palette issue. It did hit exactly where it was going. The next one was was called SZVapor, a pipe tobacco vape, more of a vanilla for me with a slight hint of caramel. And then the aftertaste was a pipe tobacco, which was actually very nice. The third was Perillian, which was a custard vape, but custard based on watermelon. Thank you, Robert. Enjoyed that very much, very smooth. The fourth was Triple P, and I'll put them in the order I tasted them, which was plum, peach, and pear. Again, very nice mixture, but the plum being the predominant flavor in that for me. And the final was my favorite out of all of them, which was Flan Plan. Great mixture of fruit. Pineapple is definitely there. I don't get a lot of crust, but that's fine because it far makes up for it with that mixture of fruit. So very nice. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this because you know I always like spending time with you. Stay healthy. Happy vaping. Take care, folks.